secret investigations, power struggles, and a pope who might already be deceased. Archbishop Carlo Maria Vigano, a figure always at the center of controversy, reappears with a shocking video that revives old doubts about the Vatican. His previous accusations, which cause concern, now point to the existence of a plot to control the papal succession. What secrets are hidden? What if his words were true? Stay with us until the very last detail. In this address, the former apostolic nuncio makes devastating accusations against the Vatican and the entire church hierarchy, even questioning the legitimacy of the current pope. Vigano doesn't hold back, accusing the Curia of covering up scandals and dodging responsibility. There are very specific interests in burying Bergoglio's faults along with him. His statements extend beyond the Vatican walls, strongly suggesting an involvement of American politics. According to the former nuncio, the Catholic Church in the United States is trapped in a system of illicit financing related to the immigration phenomenon. The American Episcopal Conference is in open conflict with the Trump administration after the USAID funding scandal exposed the Church's involvement in the lucrative immigration business. Vigano also maintains that the conclave that elected Pope Francis was orchestrated by a progressive network, the so-called St. Gallen Mafia, which manipulated the papal succession to promote a globalist agenda. And he continues to push this idea even further. It's crucial to prevent the progressive movement from installing another usurper on the throne of Peter, a puppet meant to continue the work of his predecessor and ultimately seal its fate. For Vigano, the discrepancies about the Pope's health are a clear sign of unclear communication from the Holy See. Some say the Pope is already dead, and this truth is being hidden from the public, he bluntly declares. This extreme hypothesis, in his opinion, is confirmed by the rush in the Vatican to gather support around a successor ready to continue the Bergoglian revolution. The former nuncio argues that this power system isn't limited to the Church. It's tied to high-level international politics and progressive movements, even involving the American Democratic Party. The crimes of Theodore McCarrick, the influence of church Freemasonry on the appointment of bishops, and a secret agreement with Communist China are, according to him, clear proof of a subversive infiltration within the Church. In this situation, Lex Nuncio is asking for the American authorities and the Argentinian authorities to shed light on these mysteries. His accusation is extreme. Mario Bergoglio has never been the true pope of the Catholic Church, and all of his governing acts and appointments are worthless. Vigano doesn't just talk about what's happening now, he also brings up Pope Francis's past. He says there are unresolved shadows hanging over the Pope's actions in Argentina. According to the Archbishop, there needs to be a thorough investigation into the crimes Bergoglio may have committed before becoming Pope. We need to look into his history, the bad things he did in Argentina, and this might explain why he hasn't said much about his home country since becoming Pope. In particular, Vigano brings to light an old and controversial rumor that Francis was directly involved in abuse within the Jesuit community during his time in Argentina. It needs to be clarified whether Mario Bergoglio, as master of novices, abused young Jesuits. Another insinuation, even more shocking, refers to the existence of a supposed secret child of the Pope. The Archbishop states there's enough evidence to support this theory, citing the case of a child, Ricardo Argañarás, known as Tomasito, who died in 2014 at the age of 11 and was later cremated and buried in the Vatican's Teutonic Cemetery in 2019. It needs to be determined if this child, whose teeth were removed before burial, was really Bergoglio's son, as has been rumored for far too long. According to Vigano, all these clues point in one direction, an international cover-up to protect not only the Pope, but an entire power system working in the shadows. The clues lead us to believe in the existence of a global criminal alliance, capable of joining subversive forces to overthrow Benedict XVI, forcing him to resign and replacing him with an emissary of globalism. To support this theory, VIGANÒ openly quotes the words of some clergymen involved in the 2013 conclave. Cardinal Godfried Daniels acknowledged the existence of the St. Gallen Mafia, a statement reiterated by Maradiaga in a conference at Francisco de Vitoria University. For the former nuncio, there's no doubt. The Catholic Church has been infiltrated by outside forces that have twisted its mission, and only decisive action can bring it back to its true roots. He's asking officials in the United States and Argentina to provide documents and proof of these serious accusations. It is essential to prove that Mario Bergoglio never truly held the papacy and that every single one of his governing acts, including the appointment of the cardinals responsible for electing his successor, is void. Vigano's statements go further, denouncing a subversive plan that sees the Vatican as a key player in a global strategy to demolish the foundations of the Catholic Church, subjecting it to outside interests. According to the former nuncio, the election of Bergoglio has sped up this operation, making him the key figure for a radical transformation. The so-called Bergoglian Church not only collaborates with the World Economic Forum's subversive plan, but is one of its main players, he bluntly states. Among the most serious accusations, the Pope's role in managing the COVID-19 pandemic stands out, as does his promotion of the vaccination campaign. VIGANÒ maintains that Francis acted strategically to favor the interests of big pharmaceutical companies in line with the social control policies of Western governments. The crime against humanity carried out during the pandemic with the forced vaccinations bears the signature of the Vatican hierarchy. They have betrayed their mission to become an accomplice in a plan for global domination. However, according to VIGANÒ, the pandemic was just one of the tools used to destabilize Western society and undermine its Christian roots. Another piece of this would be uncontrolled immigration, encouraged by the Pope not out of a true spirit of solidarity, but for very specific political purposes. The migrant influx has been cynically exploited to erode the social fabric of the West and encourage the replacement of native populations. Added to this is the ongoing cover-up of sexual and financial scandals, which, according to VIGANÒ, testify to the deep corruption of the Roman Curia. Among these, he cites the non-publication of the dossier on Vatican corruption given by Benedict XVI to Bergoglio in April of 2013. That dossier, filled with hard evidence of an internal corruption network, has been silenced. For the former nuncio, the Catholic Church is now under the control of a crooked leadership that has twisted the doctrine to fit a globalist agenda. In this view, the current Pope appears as the face of a hidden system, meant to erode faith from within. Today, the Church is no longer guided by the rightful successors of Peter, but by impostors serving the New World Order. In this context, VIGANÒ warns that the next conclave will represent a decisive crossroads. Either the cardinals, who remain faithful to tradition, dismantle the corrupt system, or the Church will continue inexorably towards apostasy. If Bergoglio's successor is once again chosen by this corrupt circle, the ruin of the Church will be complete and irreversible. The Archbishop concludes his speech with a call to the faithful around the world, urging them to become aware of the seriousness of the situation and not to remain silent. The time for appearances is over. The time has come to expose the traitors and restore truth and justice in the Church of Christ. What do you think about these statements? If this video has touched you, leave a comment with an Amen. God bless you.